Hi ladies, good afternoon. It is Sarah Shipton here from Scrapbooking with Sarah, and I am coming live to you on Tuesday, June 11, after the long weekend. I hope you all had a lovely long weekend and enjoyed your public holiday yesterday. Just want to say a little shout out to those of you that attended my scrapbooking workshops over the weekend. We had a Friday session during the day, an evening session, and then also a Saturday afternoon session. So it was lovely to see those of you that were able to come to my June workshops. Thank you so much. Kim's watching today, and Pam. Hi, Kim. Hi, Pam. How are you both? I hope you are both keeping warm. I'm excited to share this week's scrapbooking layout with you ladies because we are working with, I'm sharing, a new paper collection, a paper suite, I should say, with you all this week for the June scrapbooking challenge, because our featured paper collection, which is the Lake Life, had not gone live until June 5th. And I did order that straight away, and it arrived on Saturday morning. So for those of you that were at my Saturday workshops, you were able to see that paper collection in the flesh. But because I wasn't going to be able to create with it in time, I decided to choose a different paper suite from the Stampin' Up catalogue to share with you all for this week's challenge. And I am loving this paper collection. Miss Mel is there. Hi, Mel. Thanks so much for joining us today. So for this week's Technique Tuesday class, I'm going to run through the pattern that we are creating for this week. And then I'm going to demonstrate the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to you. We are going to be doing the alphabet die cuts. I'm going to demonstrate those to you. And then I'm going to share something new to you that you have not seen before, which is the hybrid embossing folders. So I'm excited to share that product with you today. Now, the reason I wanted to share the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with you is they are currently at a 10% off, and everyone is super excited about the machine. So both the standard size and the mini machine is 10% off, but also the stamp and die cut bundles are an extra 10% off this month as well. So that is why I wanted to share those die cuts and the machine with you today. So mine arrived on Saturday morning, and we were able to have a little bit of a play around with it. So those of you that were at my workshop on Saturday got to see the new machine in the flesh, and let me tell you girls, I am so excited about this machine. It is hands down the best die cutting and embossing machine I've used, and this is my third machine that I've worked with over the last 11 years. So let's start with this week's scrapbooking pattern. We are creating pattern number 4 from the Make It From Your Heart Volume 6 book. So this is a close to my heart how-to pattern book. For those of you that have transitioned over with me from Close to My Heart, you would be familiar with these how-to patterns. The book itself is no longer available, but you can take the pattern from my scrapbooking Facebook group and recreate it. And many of my existing customers, you have already got this book, which was a fantastic investment in your how-to patterns to help you get more confident with your scrapbooking. So pattern number 4 is on page 12 of the book. You can see that I've created a double page spread with this pattern. So it shows it here as a single page layout with 4 photos. All I have done is cut everything in the cutting diagram times 2. So then I've been able to replicate the scrapbooking layout on the right hand side page as a mirror image. So if you have a look at this here, that is the left hand side page, and then with the right hand side page I've put all of the papers where they're needing to go, and then just mirror image with the photos. Okay, so this 3x4 inch one on the inside here and then working out is the best way to explain how to mirror image your scrapbooking pattern. We've got a title block through the middle here where I have used the mini alphabet dies. I'm going to demonstrate them to you today in white daisy cardstock. And then I have accented my scrapbooking layout using the Seaside Wishes dies and the hybrid embossing folder. So I'm going to be demonstrating that to you today as well. And I might end up putting a couple more of the sand dollars just over here as well. But I wanted to cut in front of you today and then have a bit of a play around with adding maybe something extra on. I've put my title through the middle here and then continued it here, and then also used the rest of this section as a journaling box. And then if you can see close up here, I have accented these with some little embellishments. These are Stampin' Up! Embellishments, and they are called the Basic Grey and Smoky Slate Pearls. So I've just put a couple of those around those die cuts there. So I'm going to be sharing that with you today as well. I think that is the only tip I've got from an artistic perspective on the layout itself here. They have added, you can see here, they have dovetailed the title box. So you can definitely dovetail your title box if you want to do that. And then they've just put some gems either side. I've kept mine square just because I preferred that for this layout. But I have used a new paper suite. So this is the Country Woods paper suite. And I haven't put too many embellishments on this particular layout because with the wood pattern and then the distress wood pattern through here, you can see that the paper does look quite busy itself. So in that instance, sometimes less is more from a decorative perspective. I've matted all of my photos, and I have used some new colour cardstock to mat those photos. So I'm going to get that out for you in just a moment. And then the 1-inch strip of cardstock through here is a close to my heart colour because I had some of that colour left over, and I've just used my colour comparison chart to help me figure out, I'm pretty sure that's peach, the lighter side of peach. I've just used my colour comparison chart to figure out what is the best match for these papers. So I'm going to get the papers out so you can see them in a close-up format. So this is the Country Woods 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. One of the things that I love about with Stampin' Up, they put there, so there's no zip strips with their 12 by 12 inch Designer Series paper. So the Designer Series paper is the equivalent to the pattern paper that we were using with Close to My Heart. So if you keep this white card backing that comes with your Designer Series paper pack, because it actually tells you which colour cardstock this coordinates with in the Stampin' Up product range. And if you've got some of your Close to My Heart cardstock left over, or obviously I'm using up my Close to My Heart cardstock that I have in stock firstly, and I have started to invest in some of the new Stampin' Up cardstock, as you can see here. So these were the Close to My Heart colours. This would have been Glacier, and then the peach there as well. And the reason I did that, I will show you this in the catalogue. The reason I decided to use that, this is the Country Woods Sweet Collection. So you'll find this on page 48 and 49 in your Stampin' Up catalogue. There is also a QR code here as well. So you can scan that QR code and it will take you to the Stampin' Up website where you can see this sweet collection in more detail. The Country Woods Sweet Collection on pages 50 and 51, you can see down the bottom here, there is a colour chart which shows you which of the cardstock colours coordinate with this Designer Series paper pack. However, you cannot get a coordinating cardstock pack with those colours like we were used to with Close to My Heart. You do need to come to the back of your catalogue here to have a look at the colour collections, and you will see where the coordinating cardstock colours feature in their colour collections. You can purchase them by family. You can't get a individual pack of the colour unless you're buying it in an A4 size. Our scrapbookers know how much we love the 12 by 12. So you will need to invest in the 12 by 12 inch cardstock assortment. And for example, here, a colour family, you will get 10 colours in the family, 2 sheets of each of the colours. So you'll get 20 sheets in one cardstock family pack. Okay. So that's how the Paper Suite collections work there. What I did was purchase the Designer Series paper Country Woods separately, and then also this pack here as well, Country Lace. And then I invested in the coordinating embellishments, which was a packet of the basic grey and smoky slate pearls. And then I also bought the ribbons as well. However, I haven't used the ribbons yet on this particular layout. So the coordinating ribbons, you can get them. They come in a 2-pack, and this is petal pink and white 1/4 inch ribbon with a diagonal trim combo pack. So you can get 2 colours in there. So I haven't used the ribbon on my layout this week, but I do plan to play with that at some stage. There is also a coordinating eyelet 3D embossing folder, which is this one here. So a smaller embossing folder, and I'm going to go through the embossing folders in a little bit more detail with you girls today. Okay, so I'll just pop this to the side here, and I'll go through and show you the Country Woods paper collection as a whole. So all of these beautiful textured papers, I have already turned the papers back to back here. Oh, I must have used those ones already. So that's the back side of this one here. So you've got these beautiful wood texture patterns. You can obviously align your papers going vertically or horizontally, depending on what you're creating with your layout. I have chosen to run mine horizontally, but they can go either way. We've got that gorgeous smoky slate there, and that's a nice textured grey one on the other side, which I've used. You can see that I've used some of this cardstock on the layout already. And oh, that's the blue side of that too. Okay, so if you are a fan of textured paper, you're going to really, really love the Country Woods Paper Designer Series Paper Suite. I did also invest in the neutrals pack. So 12 by 12 inch cardstock in neutrals. So this is a colour family, and you can see that I've used the smoky slate colour here. So the cardstock is not two-tone, but what I was able to do was I bought this pack because the neutrals pack you will use across a couple of different designer series paper collections. But this pack here had the Misty Moonlight in it, the Pecan Pie, and also the Smoky Slate. So it had 3 of the colours I wanted to use. The Petal Pink and the Pool Party, I just coordinated those and compared them up using Close to My Heart colours that I already had in stock. So that's why I've invested in that neutrals pack, because I know that they're not going to go astray. So the cardstock is a little bit thicker than the Close to My Heart cardstock. And as I mentioned, it's not two-tone and it's not white core. However, Stampin' Up will be switching to a two-tone white core cardstock pack, and I'm excited to play with those. So that's all of the papers there for you that I've used here. So the pattern here, I've used cardstock here, the 1/4 inch I've used, and then also I've used this blue paper back, and the back side of that was this colour here. Okay, so beautiful textured papers. Jill has joined us. Hi Jill, how are you? I know she's already played with these papers this weekend as well. Okay, so let's demonstrate the die cuts with the alphabet, and then I'm going to go on and show you the hybrid as well. So I have invested in the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to face it this way around. So a couple of things with the machine. This is the larger machine. So this machine retails for $227, but it's 10% off this month, so it brings it down to $204.30 or $203.40, one or the other, somewhere around there. There is also a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine as well, which retails for $99. There's a blue one that is on sale for $99, or you can get this basic beige colour for, I think off the top of my head, it was $104. Now, you do need to assemble your little handle here. So the handle and a washer does come separately. You've got an Allen key included in the box, so you can put your handle together. The only downside is that once you assemble your machine with your handle, it doesn't fit back into the box that it came in. I can't really be fussed undoing my handle every time I want to transport it, so I'm just going to cut a slit in the side of my box so my handle can fit through the side there. Now, when you pop your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, when you fold your your plates down, it will actually, oh, it should have locked that in there. There's rubber feet on the bottom of the machine here. So, when I did that on the weekend, I was sure that locked that in. So you've got rubber feet here on the bottom, girls. And I did like how the machine was easier to use running straight ahead as opposed to the machine being on the side. Okay, so we've got our plates down like so. Now, when you invest, I might just move over a little bit more here. When you invest in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it does come with a quick start guide. So there are some instructions that you want to have a read through. So there's an important section here, what comes inside the box, how you can care for your Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, how to attach the handle, how to use it, and it also has a 3-year limited warranty as well, okay? So when you order your machine with me, obviously I've got that purchase on file for you. If you order it online, you can have the machine shipped direct to your postal address. Now, your postage is $6.95 anywhere within Australia up to $115.91. So you will go over. Then your shipping is calculated at 6%. And I think we worked out it was about $12 if you were to just get the machine on its own, okay? So when you get your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it also comes with all of your plates. Girls, the best thing I love about this machine is the fact that all the instructions are clearly printed here on the plates. So I don't need to keep referencing back to my instructional guide by paper. I can just use these cutting plates. And when I demonstrated this on Saturday at my workshop, we did just reference this and it worked perfectly, okay? So you get plate number 1 here. All your plates are numbered so you know exactly what order you need to be putting your plates in. There is also a link here where you can go to the stampinup.com website and you can get different training tips and ideas. Be sure to follow Stampin' Up also on their YouTube channel, okay? So we've got plate number 1. We've got plate number 2, which you will use with thin dies. Plate number 1 is your base plate. Plate number 2 is to use with thin dies. And then you've got 2 plates that are numbered 3. So these are your cutting plates. So it will be normal that your cutting plates are going to get scratched and damaged because this is what's going to press. Your die will be face down, and so the image gets actually marked into the cutting plate. You can purchase a 2-pack of the cutting plates. I just ordered another pack. I think off the top of my head, they were $25 for the 2-pack. So really great value there. And then you've got your plate number 4 as well, and it clearly says down the bottom here, this is not a cutting surface, okay? So it's important that you use your plates in the order that they're designed to be used in, and I'm going to demonstrate this to you today. So we'll just lift up our rubber feet there, okay? I thought that when I flicked these plates down that it locked that into place, but the rubber feet here are actually on the bottom. Maybe I actually demonstrated this on my kitchen bench on Saturday. Maybe it just really liked that surface. So we'll pop that down, okay? And you can see here that that's nice and sturdy, but it's not locking in place. I thought that it did do that, and I told the girls that on Saturday. I think it might have just been my my kitchen bench. So the first thing we are going to cut are the mini alphabet dies. So I demonstrated this at my workshop on Saturday. So this alphabet die, I absolutely love it. Now it retails for $54, but the reason I love this die set is all of the dies, it's actually one whole die. They're not individual letters. I've never cut with an alphabet die set which has all of the letters on the one plate like this, which I love. And you get doubles of all of your vowels. So quite often when I'm cutting letters, you know, I have to cut 2 A's for my name. Sarah, 2 A's for my daughter's name, Kayla as well, but you get doubles of your vowels there. So the A and the E. Oh, there's only one I. Maybe it's just the A and the E. You get doubles. Oh, look, there's 2 N's. I've only just picked up on that. 2 N's, 2 L's, 2 O's, 2 R's, 2 S's, 2 T's. So when you're cutting these, you're going to end up with extra letters. And it does also come with these symbols as well. So this is obviously for other languages. And then it comes with some of your punctuation as well, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate this die to you today. Now this is in your catalogue, and you will find it on page 105, the mini alphabet dies. This can be a little hard to miss because one of the features of the catalogue is that there is a little shopping basket with a love heart icon. This has the product code and the retail price. If you see the little shopping basket with the love heart icon, it wants you to refer to my website and you will find more information about that product. So in the front of your catalogue, it does talk about the little sample here. So samples in this catalogue may feature products that are shown more completely on our online store. So I'm not kidding you. I actually missed this in the catalogue when I first looked through it. I didn't even pick up that these mini alphabet dies were a product that was available in our range until I'd seen artwork completed with it online. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I needed to have it. The thing I love about this mini alphabet die set is not only do you cut all of those letters at the same time, I don't have to stick them down individually. I love that they're small enough that they could go on cards as well as scrapbook layouts as well. And sometimes you get alphabet dies and they're really big and they take up a lot of room on your scrapbooking layout. So what I did do on Saturday was actually cut down. I've got my new paper trimmer here. I actually cut down cardstock so it was a perfect fit. So I just measured that up first of all. So I cut my cardstock. You could probably squeeze it. Oh no, you need 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So I decided to cut my cardstock to the size that I needed. So let's do that first of all. 3 1/4. We'll cut the length down first. Loving my new Stampin' Up! Trimmer. 3 1/4 by 5.5. 5.5 is here, and you'll see what I mean when you've got that perfect size for your letters. If I put my letters over the top of here like so, if I got that centered, when you cut all these letters out, shout out to Jill, she popped them all in a little baggie for me because I played with this over the weekend. We cut all those letters out, but then you end up with this kind of leftover bit of cardstock where the letters have been cut out from. I could put other coloured cardstock behind the back of that. I could use this as a stencil and I could sponge ink over my scrapbook layout on my cards. I could use this on a kindergarten or a school year's layout. You can actually just have that off to the side here with all of the letters. So I love that if you cut it in one piece, you could actually use that for something else. So because we're cutting thin dies, I'm going to follow the instructions for this section here using with thin dies. I've got number 1 is my base plate. Then it wants me to put number 2 mat down. And I'm not going to cover my instructions because the same instructions for mat number 2 are actually listed here as well. So the next thing I'm going to get are my 2 cutting plates, which are numbered 3. So my cutting plate is going to go down first, and then I'm going to have my cardstock over, and then I'm going to have my die cut over the top of my cardstock because that's going to cut, and then I'm going to put my other cutting plate number 3 over the top of that. Now you can see here what I would recommend is actually just getting some washi tape just to secure that down in place. Your die over the top of your cardstock there. I do see a lot of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators not use washi tape, and I think that's because, so my preference when I'm stamping is to stamp first and then put the die over my stamped image and then run that through. So I'm getting a perfect cut for my stamped image. It's really a personal preference, whatever works for you. I did use this on Saturday without washi tape. If you're worried about it moving around while it's running through the machine, just grab some washi tape to secure that in place. I'm going to pick that sandwich up all together, and then I'm just sitting it on the base of my machine, and then I'm going to roll this through. I need to pop my hand on the handle here just to hold that machine while I'm turning the handle around, and I'm running this through. Girls, let me tell you, it cuts like butter. It is just perfect. I previously had a Cuttlebug for 11 years, and that one is definitely on its way out because the suction cap is starting to wear, so I find it really hard for it to stay in place, and I definitely need new cutting mats. I did invest in the Close to My Heart die cutting and embossing machine last year, and I have ordered some new Stampin' Up plates for that machine because the machine was a big investment, but I have to tell you, this machine cuts absolutely perfect. So you can see that I've ended up with that I can use for my scrapbooking. I've got my letters here on my plate, so I can just slide them off. And then I'm going to pop these just on this little baggie here so I can put all them in there together. I did also invest in the new Take Your Pick tool, and I'm actually going to very quickly go and grab that for one moment because it's in my other room. I want to demonstrate that to you so you can see how you're going to get your other letters out of the back of the die cutting plate. So this Take Your Pick tool has a number of different uses. I'm just going to pull this out and demonstrate this to you. It comes with the tool itself, and in one end you've got a little putty tool, and you get a second putty tool as well. At the other end it comes with a spatula, and then it also comes with a stylus, which helps you to do scoring in a scoring plate. This has a 3mm stylus end, and this has got a little 1mm stylus, okay? But this is the end I'm going to use. This has a little spatula, which does give a little bit. You can use this end to take your glitter gems or your embellishments off of your adhesive backing sheets. But this actually unlocks, and if I pull that out and turn it around, I can pop that in there and twist that in, and at the end you've got a piercing tool, okay? So what I'm going to do is use my piercing tool just to stick through all of these holes to get these extra letters out that I've die cut, and they have stuck inside the metal die cut because that's obviously applied the perfect amount of pressure that I need. So sometimes your die cuts will come out really easily, and other times you'll just need to use your Take Your Pick tool with the piercing tool on the end to get all of those little bits of dies out. You can see the ones that you need to punch out because you'll see the cardstock underneath hand, and that's just a little R scrap. So that is the mini alphabet dies. These were really popular at my workshops over the weekend. So great for your scrapbooking layouts for your titles, girls. They're not too big that you could do quite a long title. Just coming back here. So then I have done my Easter at Robe, and I've just used my Stampin' Seal adhesive to stick those on, and I've used my little spatula just to get them in the right place that I've got there, okay? Now I want to introduce you to the hybrid embossing folder, which you are going to love. Now, the reason I invested in this is for the month of, what are we in? We are in June. These bundles are actually at a 10% discount, okay? So here's your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the large one, and then the mini one. You can get extra plates. So the large one has got a 6-inch width of base, and the smaller one, the mini Stampin' Cut machine, has, I think off the top of my head, it's 3.5 inches. You can go straight to my website. I will post links in the comment section below. And if you've got the catalogue, there is a QR code which you can scan, and it will take you directly to this section here. Now, the reason I wanted to share the die cut and stamps with you as well, girls, is because for the month of June, these bundles, which you'll find through your catalogue, they are already at a 10% off. So this one is the bundle which has a stamp set and a hybrid embossing folder. So the thing I love about Stampin' Up is that you can get the stamp sets on their own, or you can get the coordinating die cut. In this case, it's actually this hybrid embossing folder comes with 8 dies plus the embossing folder. You can buy those products separately, but if you buy them as a bundle, you're going to get it at 10% off, okay? So that brought it down to $83.50, but for the month of June, we've got an additional 10% off all of the stamp set and die cut bundles. So you want to head to my website. I'll pop a link in the comment section below so you can see which ones are still available. And so I've actually got this at an extra 10% off. It means they're 20% off really. And I'm going to demonstrate that one to you today. So the bundle came with the stamp set, as you can see here. Now, for those of you that transferred over from Close to My Heart with me, this was very similar to the Cape Cod paper collection we had last year. And so the reason I've invested in this bundle, not only was it 20% off, I will use this a lot because a lot of our photos are beach related or holiday or travel related. So investing in a set like this, I will definitely use time and time again. So I've got my stamp set here. I've also got the embossing folder. So this is a hybrid embossing folder. So I'm just going to take this out of the packaging to show you this one here. Okay, so I could emboss this just on its own, and it will emboss with this is, I guess, meant to be sand pattern and then the sand dollars. Or I can use the Seaside Wishes dies, which comes with it as the bundle. I could use these dies with it. And you can see there are some other dies here as well that I'm going to accent onto my page. I love that. So these dies actually fit inside the embossing folder, okay? So what I could do is actually pop my cardstock in here and run that through. And then I would get both the embossing section of the using the embossing folder, but then I would also get the images cut out as well at the same time. And this is how you end up with that here. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you today as well. Now, let's just get set up here with my embossing machine. I'll pop those out of the way. So I've already got some cardstock cut at 6 inches here now. So I'm just going to cut this around the other side. So I'm going to pop my cardstock into the embossing folder. Now, I need to remember how to do this because we did this on Saturday because I want the cardstock to cut. Okay, and then this, that's right, I want the cardstock to cut. And then I'm going to fit this face up into the embossing folder. Okay, so when I close that over like so, it's going to line that up. When I close it over like so, it's going to cut onto my cardstock, but it's also going to emboss at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to check our plates to let us know which ones we're going to need. So I need plate number 1 because this is my base plate. And then I'm using the embossing folder. And this is, it doesn't actually specify that it's a 3D embossing folder, but it looks like it's quite thick. And we had to play around with this on Saturday. So I've got my base plate down here first. I'm then going to get my embossing folder. And I think we did it like this, and then plate number 4 from memory. You can see here, it says using with 3D embossing folders. I'm just going to try this one to start off with because it's actually going to cut onto the paper, and we'll make sure I've got the right width of that there. So we'll pop that through, and then we're just going to roll that through the machine. Awesome. Okay. Perfect, because it's actually cutting into the folder there, okay? Oh, I think, was I meant to use my cutting plates? I think I might have needed to use my cutting plates. We might try that one again. Now, I haven't put washi tape on that, so it has moved just slightly. I think I needed my cutting plate on there. Let's try that again with the cutting plate. because that has actually cut my embossing folder, and I don't know if that's meant to do that. So this is the fun thing here, girls, because we are all learning together with these new products. Let's have a look here. I think, oh, maybe it's meant to do that. Let's try it with plate number 3. Insert embossing folders hinge first. So we've got a base plate. We've got our cutting plate. Let's try that again. So let's get some cardstock here. Some 6-inch cardstock. This one is not going to be thick enough. So let's cut some more cardstock here. How are you girls going there? You following along okay? White cardstock. And let's cut this at the 6 inches. And let's try that one again. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we've got our base plate here. We have got the cutting plate down next. And then we want our embossing folder. I think there's a second line. There is a second line from where I've cut the other day. So maybe this is meant to get cut when you run that through. Okay. So I might have to watch a video. We need to cut that down a little bit more. I might have to watch one of the videos on using the hybrid embossing folders, because we had to play around with that on Saturday at workshop and it worked perfect, but I think that does cut into the embossing folder. So we're going to cut this at 4.5. That was just a little bit too wide, my cardstock. Okay, so let's try this again. So we've got our embossing folder. We've got our cardstock here. And then our die cut. It must cut into the folder. I wonder if any of the girls that were with me on Saturday can remember how we did that. Let's try this one here. That's too small. Oh, that's right. It's got to be face up. Okay, so it's got to sit in there like so. And then we're going to put our cardstock here, and then we're going to fold that over like so, using with standard embossing folders. Okay, so let's try this one. We've got the plate, our base plate, then we've got the cutting plate, and then we've got this and number 3. I think we tried this first on Saturday, and it was too thick. Let's see how we go with this. Yes, it was too thick. Okay, so I had the right dynamics before. So we've got our base plate, we've got our cutting folder, and then we've got number 4 over the top of that. Okay, so we were cooking with gas, girls, the first time. Alrighty. Maybe I didn't notice on Saturday at workshop that it actually cut into my embossing folder. So I think I might have to watch a YouTube video from Stampin' Up, because we totally winged this on Saturday, and I'm sure I'm doing the right thing because this is cutting these out perfectly, but then obviously it's cutting my embossing folder. So we will have to have a look at that, girls, and I'll give you an update on that. So that is your hybrid embossing folder and your die cuts, and also the alphabet die cuts as well. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you are as excited about the 10% off with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines as I am with the 10% off die cut and stamp bundles as well. I'll post all the links in the bottom of the chat. How you did it before was the same as Saturday. Okay, I did get it right. Excellent. Okay, I thought I did, but then I was like, oh my gosh, it's cut into the folder, and I hadn't noticed it cut into the folder on Saturday. So I'm going to double check that and make sure that is all good. So pretty fun, a fun new tool for us to use. And like I said, we are all learning together. So thanks for watching along, girls. I hope you grab a bargain with the 10% off this month. And I look forward to seeing what you create this week with your scrapbooking challenge. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you soon.